From her brief yet bizarre stint as a flat earther, to the TikToker claiming he groomed her when she was 16, these are Millie Bobby Brown's most controversial moments. The Stranger Things star became a household name when she was just 12 years old, which put her in the spotlight at a very young age. Kids aren't known for their critical thinking skills, and in Millie's case, this somehow led to her becoming a flat earther for a short period of time. She made this strange confession during a live stream in 2018, when she told the people watching about a Shane Dawson video she'd recently seen. For starters, Shane Dawson? Seriously? The guy everyone ran off the internet for his pervy, inappropriate behavior? To be fair, this was a couple years before Shane's fall from grace, and Millie was just 14 years old at the time, but her comments still kicked up a storm, and understandably so. Flat earthers were a pretty vocal minority on the internet in the 2010s, and it seems like Millie was persuaded by some of their decidedly unscientific arguments. According to her, there were just too many facts that proved the Earth was flat, so I guess Galileo went through all that for nothing. Okay, I know what y'all are thinking. She was just a kid. How can she be responsible for buying into a conspiracy theory? Honestly, I'd be willing to give her a pass if it weren't for that lie detector test she took in 2022.
Millie, when you were 14 years old, you said on a TikTok live that you thought the Earth was flat.
Unfortunately, yes, I did.
Do you still believe this?
No.
Millie was 18 by that point, but despite being an adult, she failed the test when she was asked about her flat Earth beliefs. How does she justify these beliefs, you ask? Well, she's apparently never seen the curvature of the Earth from a plane, which is a pretty weird justification if you ask me.
Although I've never seen, like, the you know when you're on a plane, sometimes you can see it, the curve. I've not seen that yet.
You've seen satellite pictures, right?
I have, yeah.
But hey, this isn't the worst thing she could do, is it? You're absolutely right, because it gets way worse from here. Another extremely controversial incident came in 2022, when she openly admitted to violating her co-star's consent. The actor in question was Louis Partridge, aka the guy who played her love interest in the Enola Holmes movies. There's a scene in the sequel that involves a kiss between Louis and Millie's characters, and as it turns out, it was entirely unscripted. Don't just take it from me, Millie said so herself in an interview with Netflix. It was meant to be a promo piece for the film, and I guess Millie thought it was a quirky little behind-the-scenes detail, but it seriously rubbed people the wrong way. The British actress claimed that she wanted to get a genuine reaction out of Louis, and you can definitely see it in the movie. The kid looks surprised, and if he wasn't acting at that time, I have some serious concerns about her views on consent. Actors can't just kiss each other out of the blue. Any scenes involving intimacy require planning and open communication to make sure no one feels uncomfortable, and an impromptu kiss is a direct violation of that golden rule. If you've watched that scene, you'd know that Enola Holmes punches Louis before the kiss. She's basically trying to teach him how to fight, but according to Millie, she was actively trying to hurt him. She justified it by saying he's a really good friend, and I've gotta ask, is that really how she treats the people she cares about? Movie sets hire intimacy coordinators nowadays for scenes like that, and one of them took to TikTok to say just how wrong Millie was. Kissing can't be unscripted. You can't actually hit someone during a scene. And the fact that Millie talked about this behavior so proudly is straight up wrong. You could argue that it was a bit of an exaggeration since the scene looks pretty professionally shot and probably required multiple takes. But even if that's true, the implication alone is dangerous. But then again, Millie's shown multiple times that she has a hard time respecting others. It's not just this Enola Holmes incident either. I'm talking about her entire career, especially all those moments where she talks over her co-stars. Watch practically any interview where she's with the Stranger Things cast, and you'll know what I mean. She has a bad reputation for stealing the spotlight, even if the question wasn't directed at her. I'm not just talking about her young co-stars either, by the way. Even someone like David Harbour isn't safe from her attention-grabbing antics, and the guy's like 48 years old. What's even weirder is that he was trying to compliment her at the time, but Millie responded by jumping around and pulling faces, which was so disruptive that he couldn't even finish his sentence. I don't know about you, but David looked kinda ticked off during that interview, and I totally get why. Millie and Noah Schnapp were once interviewed by The Wrap, and she told him no to answering any questions. Like when Noah was trying to talk about what he wanted to do in future episodes, Millie butted in to say that he wanted his character to die. Noah had no idea what she was talking about, and while they were able to cover it up and finish the interview, this served as yet another example of how she tends to act. Sadie Sink, another one of her co-stars, goes through the same thing. thing, with constant interruptions from Millie getting in her way. Caleb McLaughlin, the kid that plays Lucas, literally had to step in to make sure Sadie got to say her piece. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to get a word in edgewise. Look, I'm not trying to be a hater here. I just call them like I see them, and these controversial moments have been a constant drag on Millie's public image. She might just be her own worst enemy, which you can see plain as day in the bogus skincare routine she posted. The video shows her performing a pretty basic routine, complete with a face mist and a scrub, which doesn't sound out of the ordinary. The thing is, Millie was very clearly faking it, because she had her makeup on the whole time. To make things worse, she was trying to sell her own product line, Florence by Mills, which led to some people criticizing her for advertising without a disclaimer. Millie had to delete the video, and she later said that she was still learning how to be a public figure, but when she made this misstep in 2019, it continued the bad trend she'd established with her flat earth views the previous year. Of course, when it comes to her controversies, she's not always the one to blame. Possibly the most shocking thing about her is her weird relationship with Drake. Just for reference, Millie was 14 years old when she met the rapper, whereas he was 31. That raised quite a few eyebrows, especially when people found out that they texted all the time and even visited each other whenever they got the chance. Can someone tell me what a fully grown man was doing talking to a literal child? It's not like they've worked on a project together, which would have explained why they were in touch. And while they technically work in the same industry, actors and musicians don't always run into each other. And yet, Millie spoke on the red carpet about how he texted her and told her he missed her so much. That's a direct quote from Millie.
I love him. I met him in Australia, and a great friend and a great role model. You know, we just texted each other the other day, and he was like, "I miss you so much." I was like, "I miss you more."
And I have no idea how anyone allowed this to happen. Things took an even more sinister turn when the rumor broke out about Drake's secret girlfriend, who was just 4 years older than Millie. I have to say, it sounds like grooming to me, and that is exactly what everyone assumed when they heard about it. Both Millie and Drake heard these rumors, and they addressed them independently, with Millie saying that people were turning her quote-unquote friendly relationship into a headline, and 6 years later, Drake defended his friendship by calling the critics weirdos. Based on that, it seems like they're still friends, and since Millie's dating Jon Bon Jovi's son nowadays, I guess the grooming rumors were untrue after all. That said, this wasn't the only time we had to worry about someone grooming Millie. In 2021, 21-year-old TikToker Hunter Ekamovich claimed he dated her when she was just 16. Hunter, also known as Echo on Instagram, went live and admitted to grooming her. For real, those were the actual words that came out of his mouth. And he was supposedly responding to leaked pictures of them kissing that had recently gone viral. Millie's legal team responded quite severely, and a year later, she acknowledged the relationship and called it toxic, along with criticizing her ex for the public humiliation. In the end, the creepy influencer had to deactivate his Instagram and retract his statements in a short TikTok video, and from what I can tell, his career's pretty much dead in the water. Good riddance, I'd say. As for Millie, she's moved on now, and she's ready to put this unfortunate incident behind her, hopefully along with everything else she did as a result of her immaturity. So, from the 21-year-old TikToker that claimed he'd groomed her, to her strange belief in the earth being flat, these were Millie Bobby Brown's most controversial moments.